Good day, people of the YouTubes, and welcome to Dragon Age Origins, a game which is now 8 years old. Near enough. I think it came out in November. But yeah, this is an old game now, and it just makes me feel old. It is a good one, though, in the same sort of style as the classic Baldur's Gate games. And it's what we're going to be playing today, and for a while. This is a fairly long game, and it may lead into the other two games, Dragon Age 2, which I've slogged through once, and Dragon Age Inquisition, which I've played maybe the first bit of the tutorial, the tutorial section. Haven't got beyond that. Now, this is the second time I'm recording this because actually I basically did the tutorial campaign, the first part of the game, the prologue, effectively, for the City Elf, and unfortunately there was a lot of desync in episode 1, issues with just recording bits when it goes into the loading screens, and then the third one actually recorded without any audio whatsoever because Bandicam decided for no provocation to completely change where it was recording from. So yeah, I've had some fun with this already. I'm going to though start a new game, and we're probably going to start with a different character intro this time. And hope that it works here. It wasn't necessarily this screen's fault, but it was after this that desync started happening, and it built up every time we went through one, so we shall have to see. Anyway, intro cutscene.
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. For I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
Doom, gloom, and doom to stop. But we're not playing Doom just yet, we're playing Dragon Age. So, now we have to pick our character. And there are 6 basic backgrounds which determine the initial sort of prologue story. There are 3 associated with the elves, depending on whether you wish to be the Dalish elf, or the true wood elves, effectively. The oppressed city elves, the mages, who, if you're human or mage, same story, you just go there and, you know, do the whole Fade scenario. Or we can be human, which causes us to go down the human noble route. I think that's actually probably overall the best route to go down. At least it's the most in keeping with the story. Makes the most sense from sort of most point of views, but, you know, I don't like doing things normally. Which leaves the dwarves. Now, the dwarves can't be mages, it's just the way they decided this campaign world works, and it's fine. So we have some slight bonuses against magic, but we can be either the commoner or the noble. And I much prefer being the noble, and I'm also going to be the rogue, because I think rogues have more fun in the initial part of this game. It means I can loot, I can do looting in the prologue scenes, you know, it just makes sense. And I like the Dwarven Noble storyline, at least initially, so that's how we will be, the Dwarven Noble. You can be a Dwarven Noble female if you wanted to, but we want our magnificent beard, and they decided that female dwarves do not have them. So,
Greetings.
Let's find ourselves a mighty beard that we could choose. To be honest, that is a mighty beard, sir, but I think that one's possibly better. Let's see what we can do here. So we should improve the skin complexion, because there's no way we should be that tanned if we were underground all the time. Put an interesting tattoo on ourselves if we wanted, but they're mostly for the caster, so we can't really do that. Yeah, let's see if we can find a more mighty beard. I mean, it's kind of understated and, yeah. That is the most mighty of beards that we could possibly have, but I think we'll stick with this one, because I think it probably works best. Even if it is the default and a bit boring. Get rid of a stubble. We got proper beard. We have no need for stubble. Eyes, not really bothered about. Nose, not really bothered about. Neck and ears, not really bothered about. The portrait, then. All hail me. No. Sparkly. That could actually work for us. We'll stick with that, though. Maybe if you up down. We are a dwarf. We're supposed to be tall. It's all good. Okay. And what to call ourselves? I mean, I could go boring and do the shadow thing. The Shadowhawk Idukan route, or Shadow from Dragon Age Origins, but we want to move away from that. It could even be Shin Idukan for no reason. I'd like it to be somewhat dwarven sounding, though, so Durgan? Durgan Idukan. Okay, we'll go with Durgan. And so, attribute-wise, obviously, as a thief, we want to be focusing mostly on our dexterity and cunning stats. However, we can't neglect strength. And what we'll probably end up doing as we go down the line is basically picking one in both dexterity and cunning, and then maybe putting the odd point into descending order, strength, willpower, constitution. Willpower is somewhat important because it allows us to have more stamina for techniques. Magic is kind of worthless. Does affect how effective our potions are, so it can't be completely neglected, but we will be very rarely putting any points into that. So I think to start with, we will go for an extra point in dexterity. Okay, starting skills. I think we want to take do we want to be the Shadow Thief of Doom? Because I'm thinking the Shadow Thief of Doom is a good plan here. Coercion's nice, and we might have wanted that for early game, but I like the ability to steal from things, and it's amazing the amount of stuff that is actually on people. So we'll take lockpicking because there's things in the tutorial we will want, and we will take dual weapon training because I prefer dual weapons to archery. I'm okay with an archer skill, but I'd rarely run one myself. I like to get into combat, so that works more for me. We'll play on normal. I do have a couple of mods on. A lot of my mods are graphical in nature, but I do have one specific mod that will make combat slightly easier, which I'll explain when it comes up, because it's not anything that's going to affect me for at least for the tutorial part of the game at least. But we'll play on normal, because it's been a while since I've played this, and I think the last couple of times, in fact, the only times I completed this game, I feel, are when I was on the PS3. So, we'll just see how this goes. Anyway, time for plot, stuff, things, and intrigue. Lots of intrigue.
Deep beneath the Frostback Mountains sits Orzammar, the larger of two known remaining dwarven cities in the world. Orzammar was once the seat of a major empire connected by tunnels called Deep Roads, which stretched thousands of miles. The city now stands alone, cut off from the rest of the dwarven ancestral lands by the darkspawn incursion. Secure in Orzammar's impregnable construction, the dwarven noble houses continue their centuries-old power struggles. Assassination and blackmail are commonplace, but the appearance of honor is paramount. You are the second child of King Endren of House Aeducan, the 9th Aeducan ruler elected by the Noble Assembly. You grew up in a world rife with political intrigue and have struggled against brothers and cousins for honor and prestige. Today, a feast celebrates your first military commission, the opening move towards real power in the ever-changing game of dwarven politics.
Prepare for intrigue!
Greetings, my lord. You are dressed and ready. Excellent.
Indeed I am. It's good armor.
I couldn't find the armor's matching dagger, but I scrounged up a rather fancy longsword. Do you wish to wear your shield to the noble's feast?
You mean to tell me you lost the matching dagger but found me some random longsword? Off with his head! Actually, I'd like to play this game as a good character, generally speaking, and while I'm punished for that at times, I feel that's the best way to play this game. We'll see. I might make some more questionable decisions as we go on, but, better safe than sorry. Shield me.
Certainly. You'll cut an imposing picture out there. Of course, if every other noble has a shield and 3 swords, you'll feel awfully underdressed.
You, my friend, are ridiculous.
One can't take all this marching about and speech-making too seriously. Moving on to the business at hand. The king expects you to make an appearance at the feast, but there's no rush. The noble family heads will spend hours boring your father with petitions and petty grievances.
What are my brothers?
Out and about. I saw them on my way here, browsing the shops. As part of the celebrations, permits have been auctioned off to members of the merchant caste who wish to sell wares in the Diamond Quarter. Lord Harrowmont has also opened up the provings for young warriors to test their mettle before tomorrow's battle. Perhaps we should go show them what single combat is really all about. And by we, I mean you. I'll practice my cheering.
Why didn't you want to fight in the provings, Gorim?
You remember last year's open proving? It took your father's smith 6 hours to remove my helmet. I'm not meant for single combat.
My second,
folks. My lord's
folks.
second in shield. That's enough for me.
My second is not built for combat, apparently. The proving sounds appealing. Let's go have a look.
Right behind you, my lord. The day is ours until the feast.
And so, we move on. And first off, we need to go and grab some stuff and things, because we have stuff and things available. Vanity and 5 copper. We're so rich. So very poor. Yay. We also do have a shield, which, to be honest, I just took so we'd have an extra shield. Because I care about money occasionally. I probably shouldn't do for various reasons, and in fact, there we go. So you see, you may not have found the matching dagger, but I at least found a dagger. There we go. I now have my dual weapons set up. Right. Onward! For honor, glory, moonbeams, and actually, let's just make sure I haven't forgotten any lore bits and pieces. I nearly forgot some lore bits and pieces.
I shall do it.
The city of Orzammar. So thus we have some codex entries. What I'll probably end up doing with most of these is just quickly skimming through them and giving people the option to pause videos if they really want to read it. Some of this is quite interesting, it has to be said. So I will be trying to make sure I pick up all the lore I can and giving opportunities to read it if you are that way inclined. So, onwards. We shall leave our room and thus go exploring and finding some loot. Here we see a book. This gives us 50 experience points on our way to level 2. History of Ostagar, Chapter 1. So onwards we go.
I am proud to serve the Idukans.
Of course you are. No. Okay, so we can't go into there. Key is required. Let's move on.
Hey, Balin. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, as long as she leaves and doesn't notice stealing from this room. Oh, in fact, pile of books. House Idukkan, Shield of Ostagar. What's going to happen now is I'm going to miss something in the lore, aren't I, at some stage? Oh well. First off, we're going to go and rob this guy blind. He is our brother, of course, but we're going to rob him blind anyway. I'm going to Dwarven Merchant's Belt. That, actually, we probably want to equip. So this increases our monetary gain, which, you know, is somewhat important. Let's talk to the mistress.
I'm sorry. I thought you were Prince Balin coming down the hall. Forgive me.
Also, that tattoo means she's castless. Gorim, tell her that my brother is at the feast.
Prince Balin is attending the feast being held in Lord Idukkan's honor.
We do not speak to the castless.
Of course. It was presumptuous of me to think that he would return to... I am sorry. I will show myself out, with your leave, my lord.
Go or stay, I don't care.
Thank you. I will go now.
Well, you know, these things happen, and we need more dwarves. We do need more dwarves. And they all seem to die in the deep roads anyway, so we do need more. And also, it is generally accepted that this is what happens. Do we have any lore bits and pieces around here? Does not seem to be the case. Nice portrait of somebody. Also quickly check the map. So this is leading us to our father's room.
Good day, Lord Idukkan.
Which we can't enter.
Congratulations on being named commander, my lord.
Indeed, we are the commander. Or soon will be, anyway. That is part of what this is all about. Let's move down. Royal Guard.
Congratulations on
Guard
being
me.
named commander, my lord.
Do we have anything there? Oh, we do have somebody. Oh, it's just noble. Well, that was a name rather than just noble. Actually, I know what we can do. We can go into here. We don't have to start this quest off just yet. Oh, pieces that way. Okay. Also, I was sure we could open that, because I'm fairly
You
certain.
sure you want to go to the feast now? I doubt we can escape to see the provings once we're inside.
Alright, let's go to the previous
Can't wait to see who's fighting today.
Okay, so I thought we could do that first, but it's fine. We'll leave that alone then. So, we want to go this way. Actually, you know what I should have been doing? I should have been stealing from people. I have not stolen from enough people yet. I don't know what the consequences would be, so, you know, that'd be fun. Life in Ostagar. It is a wonderful life indeed.
Your
Also,
father has allowed the merchants to show their wares in the Diamond Quarter during these celebrations.
Stealing fails. Well, apparently the guards aren't bothered, so we're going to keep doing this. Yay, I've received an item. What did I actually get? I've got an actual health poultice. That's not too bad.
I'm sure we can work this out reasonably. It's in the records. There's nothing I can do.
Item received. We get some frozen lightning. Unfortunately, we don't get experience. I thought we got experience for this, which is why I took it, but oh well. Apparently, there's no consequences at the moment. And gained a health poultice. Okay, so we picked up enough. Let's go talk.
Please, Master Volney. My work is accredited by the Shaper.
These books are lies written by the enemies of House Volney.
I write only what I find in the ancient records. Lord Idukkan, you can vouch for my work, can't you? Your father loved my History of Iduken, Paragon King, Peacemaker.
I greatly enjoyed that book as well.
This worm has written a book that slanders my house.
That is a serious charge. Alright, no, we'll be nice. What does it say?
It doesn't matter, it's all lies.
What exactly has he written, Brunton?
He says that Volney, the paragon who founded my house, known throughout the world as the greatest of men, was a fraud.
Not precisely. When the Assembly names a paragon, that man or woman is then, by definition, everything one can aspire to be in the world. They form their own noble houses and are revered as living ancestors. But paragons start off as men.
Volney was more than a man.
Brunton, you're acting like a fool.
Am I? Would you allow this coward to slander your ancestors?
I have written no slander. Volney became a paragon by the narrowest margin in history. One vote. A vote mired in rumors of intimidation, intrigue, and outright bribery. The records of that vote are kept in the Shaperate and are a matter of fact. Not liking history doesn't make it any less true.
The scholar is right.
You're taking his side? What if he published a book like this about your paragon Iduken?
Iduken was a great man. Yours wasn't. I suppose putting down a minor house is exactly what we want to be doing here. Truth is less important than reputation. We're not going to say that. Truth is more important than
You
your
would
pride.
not say so if it was your house, but I shall respect your wishes. For now, excuse me, Your Highness.
That fool has no idea how weak his house is or how low he sits in it. Shall I have him killed, my lord?
Yes, and see that everybody knows why he died, which... what do you think, Scholar?
Well, historically, it has been prudent to eliminate a small threat before it becomes larger.
Hear that, Gorim? Do the prudent thing.
How do you want it done?
Publicly, make sure everyone knows why.
Understood.
You've shown yourself more daring and aggressive today than most believed of you. Someday I hope to write of the great exploits you are sure to perform.
Word has been sent. He won't live past the hour.
You've shown House Iduken a friend to research, history, and the glory of our people.
Carry on with your work, Scholar.
Of course. I have much to document and organize.
Would have asked for
Good
a
day, Your
reward,
Highness.
but...
And thank you.
Yeah. Remember I said it was going to be good, didn't I? Well, that apparently backfired immediately. That's, alright, not necessarily the most lawful good of actions there, getting somebody killed because he didn't like the truth. But, you know, we will not suffer
my
fools.
friend.
On an indigo
Enjoying the
embroidered by
festivities so
skilled
far.
elven tradesmen. I've seen Prince Balin Iduken himself wearing a robe made of something quite similar.
So I pay your exorbitant price, only to end up looking like a poor imitation of Prince Balin. You'll get no coin from me.
But that's not what I meant, my lord. My lord!
Let's talk to this guy.
My lord Iduken, you honor me by visiting my humble booth. May I show you my wares?
You have something I might want?
Not for a mighty warrior such as yourself, my lord, but perhaps a lady friend. I forget myself. I'll be silent.
Yes, you
This
will.
looks to be mostly fabrics from the human lands. These merchants form alliances with those who have abandoned our ways to live on the surface.
How many of our people are on the surface?
According to the scholars, more than 500. Does it matter? The surfacers are lost to us. Perhaps we should get going.
We probably should. Poor surfacers. Ah, the princes. I think we'll save this conversation... Actually, no, we'll have this conversation and end it.
Our trust follow, big brother. How surprising to run into you out among the common folk.
Especially since duty requires that you attend our King Father at the feast today. Have you so little respect for him to disregard his wishes on a day set aside for you?
Lord Harrowmont told me we wouldn't be needed for hours at least.
Silence! If I want the opinion of my sibling's second, I will ask for it.
Yes, Your Highness.
Balin, help me out here. Well... I go where I want when I want, Trian.
Your lack of a sense of duty to your house is obvious. I can't imagine why you're receiving a commission. I expect after tomorrow I'll spend much time apologizing to the heads of the noble houses for the deaths of their children under your incompetent command.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it, Trian?
As heir to the throne, it is my duty to impart wisdom and judgment upon those who need it. Now then, you, get to the feast.
It's cute how you think you can order me around.
I'd advise you to watch that tongue, dear sibling. Father will not live forever. Come, Balin.
That was fun. Nothing like being talked down to by the next king.
He probably means well. But honestly, it's my day.
That it is. Let's get back to enjoying it, shall we?
So I should limit my chaotic evil activities. I mean, I've already got one person killed who probably didn't deserve it. I emphasize probably.
My Lord Iduken, nothing here rivals your amazing Iduken armor, but if you wish something made...
You know very well House Iduken has its own royal armorers.
Of course. Forgive me.
Show me your wares anyway.
You honor me, Your Highness.
Metal shards, a dwarven helmet. It actually matches what we got, doesn't it? Alright, hold on. So let's sell off the lootables. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Oh, God damn it, I'm going to be short. Alright, let's sell the main health poultice. One of those. There we go. All done.
Look at this piece, darling. It rivals even the work of the...
So, hey, I've bought something. Requires 14 strength. Oh, god darn it. I wasted all of that expense on something that I can't even use.
Paragon Smith herself.
My lord.
We should get going. I've already wasted my money and made so many mistakes.
Shame upon our house.
We'll make more mistakes as we go on, I am sure. But I shall say then...
Trust a woman to speak of things she doesn't understand.
Is that suit of armor talking back to you? Weird. Anyway, I will call that a video, and I will say until the next time, folks.